Tremors could be felt across the region, as far away as neighboring India. The quake, which the U.S. Geological Survey said measured 7.8 on the Richter scale, struck near the capital of Kathmandu. A series of smaller aftershocks reportedly continued for hours. It's still too early to know the full extent of the damage in Nepal, already one of the world's poorest countries. Home to Mount Everest, Nepal relies heavily on tourism, which accounts for nearly 3% of the country's GDP. The earthquake reportedly caused an avalanche on Mount Everest, sending one mountaineer running for his life. Saturday's earthquake was the country's worst since 1934, when a quake left over 8,000 people dead. For Newsy, I'm Elizabeth Hagedorn. Multiple sources, a broader view.
Hundreds are dead after a 7.8 magnitude earthquake rocked Nepal on Saturday. Rubble was strewn into the streets as people worked to rescue those trapped by the rescue mission underway at the tower.
Okay, the pictures on your screen, which are of the early 19th century tower in the heart of Kathmandu, which is called the Dharahara Tower, as Niranjan just said, where the entire tower has collapsed, and there are people being taken out from the area, a lot of people being taken out, some of them alive, some of them appear to be critical.
The quake also caused an avalanche on Mount Everest. Government officials said at least 30 people were injured. The earthquake struck about 50 miles northwest of Kathmandu, but its impact was felt far beyond Nepal. India, Tibet, and Bangladesh all reported casualties, but officials warned the death toll could rise as rescue operations continue. The Kathmandu Valley is a densely populated area with many of its 2.5 million people living in poverty. Building construction is often poorly done. This is the most devastating earthquake to hit the region since a 6.9 magnitude quake struck in 1988.
The death toll is in the thousands after a powerful earthquake rocked Nepal on Saturday. The earthquake struck about 50 miles northwest of Kathmandu, but its impact was felt far beyond Nepal. India, Tibet, and Bangladesh all reported casualties. It also sparked avalanche.
Nepal has been hit with its worst earthquake in decades, killing more than 1,100 people, turning Kathmandu into an outdoor hospital, even triggering an avalanche on Mount Everest that killed or injured many climbers. Early Saturday, the confirmed death toll in Nepal alone was at least 1,130 people, but there were also victims in India, Tibet, and Bangladesh. With the search for victims just starting, the death toll is expected to rise significantly in the days ahead. The quake struck just before noon local time. It measured 7.8 according to the U.S. Geological Survey. It was centered about 80 miles northwest of Nepal's capital of Kathmandu, and it struck at a depth of only 7 miles, making it far more destructive because it was shallow. The quake collapsed houses, buildings, even historic temples. It sent ambulances racing through the streets and shut down Kathmandu's international airport. It also generated numerous smaller aftershocks that rocked the region for hours. Ned Barker, The Associated Press.